Now you realize in this video you get to be yourself, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you know that you don't have to be stiff, right?
Yes.
Okay, so but we know that you know how to dance, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll dance! Oh my God!
Ladies and gentlemen, I have a special guest on my channel today. I'm not gonna tell you who she is just yet, but I want you to stick around because we are going to get a chance to talk a little bit, find a little more about her. And we're also going to talk about a subject that she and we definitely have some feelings about. And I really want to get her take on it and ours. So, guess what? Our brains are ready, our mouths are ready, our hearts are ready, and a lot of the bad jokes. So, are you ready?
I'm ready. Yeah. Are you ready? Are you ready?
Oh my God. Oh, y'all, get ready. Everybody, it's your boy Montel. What's going on? How's everybody doing? Hopefully you guys are having a fantastic day, week, month, year, millennium, the holidays. Hopefully you're not too full from all the food, from the turkey and everything. I personally tried to keep it low on the itis level. It didn't quite work out. Now, if you're wondering who's here with me, this is my friend Shaunalyn, also known as SlyCooper.
SlyCooper711, y'all. Hey.
So tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
Okay, well, a little basic introduction, cliff note version, whatever the case may be, So, my name is Shaunalyn, aka SlyCooper711. You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch because your girl is also a streamer. What?
Yes.
What?
Yes.
Twitch.tv/SlyCooper711. It's me. So
way more in the hands department, that's for sure. When you watch her stream, trust me, you won't see her hands, but her shoulders and her head completely animated.
Yep.
But I enjoy watching her stream, and I actually met her at NecoCon.
Yep.
Thanks to some good friends of mine, Christy and Kendra, who are
known as you, girl.
Divas On A Dime. They have a channel too, so definitely hit them up. They are phenomenal. Trying to get them here to do one, but you know what? They got to be a little bit salty because I got Shaunalyn.
Hey, what?
So it goes without saying. So, thank you so much for checking me out. Thank you guys so much for the support, for people like you, everybody else who come to check out my channel. I appreciate all the love. We're almost at 330 subscribers. For me, that's phenomenal. And see, I get the best fanfare right here. I can sit there and be down. It's like, yeah, you gotta do it, yeah. Yeah, you're right. That was quite phenomenal. Please don't forget to hit me up on social media. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. Share my channel. Let everybody know that I do content that people I think will be interested in. 330 people seem to think so. So if you're interested, please check it out. And of course, like my videos.
Do it. Hit
please.
Hit it.
Please.
Hit it.
Please.
Hit it.
See, we get twice the thumbs here. Twice the thumbs. Okay. So I'm definitely invited Shawne onto the channel because she, like myself, is a cosplayer and she does really phenomenal work. I saw your stuff at NecoCon. Absolutely phenomenal. And I've only been in cosplay for maybe 4 or 5 years. How long have you been in it?
I want to say my first cosplay was done back when I was a senior in high school. So 2008, 2009.
Okay. Yes, she is an adult.
I am an adult.
For all you people out there, she's grown.
As is grown.
She grown.
I grown.
Okay, just saying. Don't get it twisted because she looked like she's still going to take her finals and go to the prom. Guess what? She went to the prom and she passed the finals.
10 years ago. I was level 28.
I always love that. It's like level 28. Said,
nobody says ages anymore or how many years old. It's the levels because it just makes you sound so much cooler. Like, oh my god, you're level what? You have so much XP? That XP crying though. Oh, shock, gasp, ah.
Especially the awe part. Yeah, definitely. So, do you have a particularly favorite cosplay?
Let's see. I would have to say Silk has been my favorite. Even though she's still a relatively new Marvel character, I just love love her personality. I love, you know, like the way she like is, you know, like when she talks, like, everything that shows through, you know, the comics, because that's all we have right now because she's so new. She doesn't have a TV show yet. She doesn't have a movie yet, but it's coming.
Oh boy.
It's coming.
Here we go. You know what? Here we go. You know what? Here we go. So now that we know that it's a term that is coming.
It's coming.
So, okay. So do you have any upcoming cosplays that you would like to divulge? Because I know a lot of us, like me, I have 3 or 4 coming out, but I'm not giving any hints to what they are until they actually happen.
I'll give a couple of hints. You know, I'm going to keep like 1 or 2 on the DL, but like...
Check out her Instagram, because if she does them, she's going to do it through there.
SlyCooper711. I mean, the name will say Lady Potato Kage, because as is a potato, and yes.
Wow, she's a potato.
I'm a potato.
Wow, that is so awesome. Yeah. Yeah, freaking Amy. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, you could tell. We could be related. You could get it twisted. We could be related.
I've adopted him. Well, actually, I've adopted myself into his family. He's now my uncle.
I didn't even have a choice in the matter.
Yep.
She hit me up on it was on Instagram and said, "You are my uncle." I was like,
so you're my uncle now, and he was like, "Wait,
I don't get. Yeah, I know. Nanatoro. I didn't get a say in it, man. She was nah.
I was like, "Is this okay? You going?" He was like, "Yeah." And I text my friend who like also agreed to be like in the family or whatever. I was like, "He consented." He's like, "Yes, we got an uncle now."
So yes, I have been adopted, although I think that's the other way around. But okay, I'll take it for what it is.
Not today.
Okay. So
but yeah, so back to the cosplays that I'll drop a little hits or 2 here and there.
Here we go. What we got?
So Christy and Kendra, we're all planning a cosplay meetup that's gonna take place in January.
And I'll be there for that.
Yay!
I'll be there for that. I will put details up for those of you who are in the Virginia area, or at least in the RVA area. Yeah, you can check it out. But I'm excited about it.
Same.
I'm really
yes.
excited. I'm excited.
So I'm still, deciding on what exactly I'm gonna be for that meetup because it's gonna be a little chilly outside. So I gotta be
just a hair,
just a little bit.
Just a
I
hair.
mean, I was. I'm an Air Force vet, and I spent my entire enlistment in North Dakota, so like the cold here don't really affect me.
I'm from Indiana, so this is like nothing.
This is not.
See people go, "Oh my God, it's freezing!" Like,
it's
really?
so cold. I'm
really?
Like,
I'm taking out the trash with a short sleeve shirt on.
Like it's a t-shirt. I feel fine. But so that's gonna be the next cosplay event that I'm looking forward to, and I'm still juggling some ideas around. But I know for sure that for Fanime, which takes place in San Jose, California, near the end of May, we have my friend Teresa and I. We're gonna be doing.
Yes, Teresa, she called you out.
Yeah, Teresa, you already know.
She called you out. Everybody
Teresa.
she calling, I'll be excited because we all about that inclusive.
All about it. But so for the 3 days of the convention, we're gonna do a like animated day, and then video games, and then anime, video games, and then comics. So for the comic day, whichever day the Marvel meetup is gonna be on, that's gonna be the comic day. I'm gonna be Silk, and
course. And her Silk is amazing, y'all. I
seen
it. Yo, I'm telling you, I have seen Silk portrayed before. She's one of the few that actually captures the sense and the ambiance of the character.
Thank you.
She looked good in it.
So hard.
Her pictures are pretty beast. I give you props on that.
Thank you.
Pretty badass.
I try so hard.
Oh my gosh, here we go.
I tried.
So just bring it back. Bring it back. Bring it back. See what I gotta deal with, and you have to deal with it too. So accept it.
Accept it. So yeah, we're gonna be Silk and Black Cat.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
okay.
Teresa gonna be all looking like Black, with the white hair. We excited. We getting in shape for that because, yeah.
I'm not gonna say anything.
It's gonna be.
I'm glad to be as small as I am at 50.
Because it's all the snacks during the streaming. That's all it is. Snacks.
Yeah.
I went through
but
13 cookies during the whole stream.
It's the con snacks that are the worst though.
I'm actually not that bad. at cons.
I'm horrible.
Yeah, I'm not really that bad. I just hoard everything.
I can't do
until
that.
later.
When I look at it and realize, which anime viewing room should I go into this time? Hey, I've seen that anime before. I'm juggling buns and snacks and everything.
Gummies and
yeah, people are like, I don't know what's going on the screen, but he's amazing. What is he doing? Oh, he missed. Oh no, he didn't. Okay.
It's okay, I'll clean it up. Got it. Just give me a vacuum when we
They
go.
don't even care in the rooms either. You go into a viewing room and they're like, click. All right, let's see what else we're going to watch this time. Those guys really don't care. So, you're looking forward to Fanime.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh, and then the other ones we're going to do for the video game day or whatever the case may be, I'm going to be Futaba Sakura from Persona 5.
Yes.
I love her so much.
Yes. Okay.
Because I remember when I first played that game, I played the crap out of that game. And I was like, I really hope I find a character in this game that I can relate to. Because that's just so wonderful when you're watching a show or you're playing a game and you find a character that you can level with and you know, like, bond with that character. You become emotionally attached to that character.
Really? I wouldn't have guessed. Not at all.
He has no idea what I'm talking about. As you can see,
I am
no
just
idea.
clueless.
Completely
clueless. Absolutely.
But yeah, so I'm gonna be Futaba Sakura for.
So you got the video game, and you got the.
And she's gonna be Lara Croft from Tomb Raider.
Nice. Okay.
And then for the
anime.
For the animated day, because we're gonna go the cartoon route.
Animated. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
So she's gonna be Kim Possible. And I'm gonna be Shigo. What?
If I don't get pictures from this,
there's gonna be so many pictures
if I don't get pictures from all of this, I will be looking at my phone in May, and I'm sitting there going,
"Where that though?"
Where the pictures at? I'm blaming the phone. Where are the pictures? And the phone's going. Didn't think phones could scream like that? They do with me.
And then I'm not gonna say too much about BlurredCon, but I know for sure that I'm gonna be Riku from Final Fantasy X-2. So that's why girl gotta hit the gym.
No, just leave the snacks alone. That's what that is.
I gotta hit the gym and leave the snacks.
You start with the snacks. The gym may be an option.
We gotta do it. Like, if y'all have no idea who Riku from Final Fantasy X-2 is, go to Google, go to Pinterest, type in Riku FFX-2, and cause she, gotta hit the weights. Gotta get crutches in again.
Whatever. As soon as I saw her, I was like, yup, you got this. Yup. Okay. So with the segue into talking about the cosplays, and we're both very enthusiastic about cosplay. But the one thing we've had to deal with are elitists in the community. Those who feel like they are setting the standard for what cosplay should be. And now we're starting to roll into that level of cosplayers who are of color, who feel like you have to portray somebody racially correct. And that has never set right with me.
Not at all, no.
Because when I've come into cosplay, I've always been the type of, okay, granted, I pick Patriot, but I pick Patriot for a reason.
Right.
If there's a character who's not black, I'll pick them, like Lupin the Third. I'm going to do Lupin. Lupin is nowhere near being a black dude. There's nothing black about him except his shoes.
Right.
But he's still cool AF. I like the character. I like the story behind him, and I'm going to do that. But I have never felt that you should be politically correct when it comes to that. And now we're seeing that roll into... And you mentioned about seeing tweets and messages about that as well. So, where's your mind at with this?
Well, like we've discussed, I am wholeheartedly against, like the racist comments, the negative lighting that we get because we choose not to, cosplay as just African American characters. Like, I don't want to be Storm all the time.
we have enough out there as
exactly. It's like I might dress up as Bumblebee. I might do like a gender bent cyborg. Like, we have those options. But who's to say that I can't cosplay as Silk? Silk's Korean.
Yeah. And that was the one thing. That was one of the reasons why I wanted you on for this discussion, because you are portraying an Asian character.
Mm-hmm. And even though I am half Asian, am I only limited to certain characters? Because I'm Black and Filipino. There's no Black and Filipino character anywhere.
Never have guessed you.
I mean, what? Look at.
Get the ham sandwich out of here. It must have been the snacks.
It was definitely the snacks.
But it's like, if you really want to boil down to, like the color of the skin or the species, I don't see people who cosplay as characters from Dragon Ball Z. It's like, okay, but you're human, but you're cosplaying as a Saiyan, so like.
Or if you go as Piccolo.
Right.
Piccolo is a Namekian.
Right.
So.
Where your DNA?
How does that fit?
Show me your DNA breakdown. I don't see.
But but you're right though. But some people try to keep you in that pocket, and I've seen that happen, and it's always angered me.
Yep.
Because cosplay as a whole, there's no racial definition to it.
No, there's not.
You pick a character, you go for that character. I was at Dragon Con this year, and I saw a family of the Flintstones, all black folks, and they nailed it. Fred to Wilma to Betty to Barney.
Right.
It was beautiful, and I was like, that was awesome. But then I saw someone who came in as Batman. There's actually a guy who comes and he dresses as Batman, fantastic black dude. And someone said something to him about Batman isn't black. And I heard it, and I know he heard it, and I turned my head to see what his reaction was going to be. But then that's when a little boy comes up to him, and he says, "Hi, Batman," little white boy. He gets down on one knee, he takes off his helmet. Little boy does not move. He just shakes his hand. He says, "How you doing?" He has a conversation with him, and he literally gets back up, puts the cowl back on, looks at the guy, and says, "That's why I do it." And I said, wow, that was freaking powerful.
Yep.
But you still have those people. Now we have people in our community, in our racial backgrounds, who is trying to remain elitist. It's like, it's so much. Okay, heaven forbid if somebody white portrays a black character.
Right.
But now it's even worse if you're a black and portraying a white character when you should be portraying a black character, which we already know. We already have difficulty trying to find characters in our racial area.
Right.
That are prominent, or we don't have to give out this huge understory behind. When I did Patriot, I literally stopped everywhere I turned to explain who I was. He said, "Well, hey, you're the Black Captain America."
No.
No, I'm not. No, I'm Patriot from the Young Avengers. And there are other times I've seen people who are fans of the Young Avengers, they would lose their mind. "Oh my gosh, you're Patriot! Yeah, I was freaking awesome. Can I take a picture with you?" I'm going, yes, and I'm blushing underneath on the mask, and I'm so freaking light skinned, so you can't tell. It's like in the sun. Oh, he's getting darker. No, he's blushing. He's absolutely blushing.
It's blushing.
And I'll take pictures, and it's like, wow. But it still bothers me that I have to explain characters.
Right.
So why not go for a character that maybe I relate to a little bit more? Like, let's say I did do Captain America. Okay, Steve Rogers. What's to say that maybe in an alternate timeline Steve Rogers was black? You got Crisis of Infinite Earths. You got all these Infinite Earths. You got every iteration of a specific character. Same thing with Marvel. So is it just me that feels this way?
Not at all. I have plenty of friends, like I mentioned before, I have plenty of friends that are also cosplayers. They're fans of, a bunch of fandoms. And I feel like the reason why we choose to do characters that don't get a lot of attention, even though, if they're not African American, if they're Asian, whatever the case may be, it's because they don't get enough attention. Or they're so new, nobody knows anything about them. So we bring the attention to those characters. Like, a lot of people don't know who Silk is.
Yeah.
And so I've been mistaken for SpiderGwen. And I'm like, her whole color scheme is different.
There's no way you can do that.
Like,
there's no way you can do that.
I'm like, did you see me in the movie? No, that was SpiderGwen. Like, I've had to explain to people, like, this is who I am. Like at NecoCon, the Marvel photo shoot, the only people who knew who I was one person who's cosplayed as Spider-Man, and there were like 12 of them.
Oh wow.
And the organizer who was dressed up as Fury. Yeah. There were like 50 of us. And other than those two, nobody knew who I was.
Wow.
But then I reflect on when I went to Fanime, and everybody knew who I was. And it was just me and one other girl that cosplayed as Silk, and everybody wanted pictures with us because they're like, we didn't think anybody else knew who this was, or, oh my goodness, like, you portray them so well, and this, that, and the third. And I'm like, this is why we cosplay as the lesser known characters, to bring that attention, to bring them into the spotlight, and be like, hey, so I'm black and Filipino, but I'm cosplaying as a Korean person, but nobody focuses on that. I'm focused on cosplaying as a lesser known Marvel female.
And that makes sense.
So
move that over there. So we gonna get the maximum sound out of this. Sorry, like a dummy. If you hear it seem a little distant, it's because I forgot to move the microphone. Golly, my medicine ain't kicking in.
Microphone.
So what you said actually made me think of something else. Lesser known characters. Bringing the awareness to them seems to be a little bit more difficult than it was bringing someone who's mainstream, like the typical characters. You got the Punishers, you got the Nick Furies, you got the Batmans, the Aquamans, and things like that. The I don't remember which Aquaman that was the most prevalent. But we've seen both versions. And I will see characters that I know of because I read comics. I'm a comic collector. You know, you're here in my room. You see...
It's very impressive.
You see, I'm very aware of comics.
Right.
So I will see someone play Bill Foster, who was Goliath. He was one of the first black superheroes. But when they see him, they have no idea who he is. And they're almost afraid to ask about who he is. But then you have the elitists, we go right back to that, who will say, well, he's not important. He's a black hero, but I don't know anything about him. So is it because you said that person is not important because you're not important? Or is it because, oh, this is someone that you recognize, so they must be irrelevant? And I never could understand that mentality with why one is more important than the other. So what you do with Silk is fantastic.
Thank you.
Same thing I do with Patriot. You know, these characters are important in the comic universe that they reside. For us, it's Marvel.
Right.
Now, is there a DC character that you wanted to portray?
I want to end up doing Vixen.
Oh, I would love to see you do Vixen. Yes! I would love to see you do Vixen. Oh my goodness.
What?
Yo, I can see your take on Vixen. That would be powerful as hell. That would be powerful as hell. I would love to see that. I've always wanted to do Booster Gold.
Okay.
I can see Booster Gold.
Okay.
And you know.
Okay.
I can see that as like, yeah, I could do Booster Gold. I could do that. But then it just means we are willing to branch out outside our own racial boundaries to try different characters. So it always angers me when you have someone, like you said, who wants to restrict who you are. It's like, well, you gotta, these characters are powerful and you can't just bring out somebody else. Why not?
Why not? Right.
Why not? There are lesser known characters who have had a impact, a huge impact on everybody. For instance, Guardians of the Galaxy. I have to bring them out because I'm a fan of the original comic. Of course, the one everyone sees now is the second team. So you've got Gamora, of course, you got Star-Lord, and you got Groot, and you got Rocket, and of course, you got all the other characters. But you notice that I have seen a lot of people portray Gamora.
Same.
Gamora is a very intricate character. She's fantastic. But that's one character that can be portrayed by black, white, Asian, Hispanic. So that crosses all boundaries. So you can't sit there and say, well, she's not, and you can't do this because you can't define
just
her.
like Mystique from the X-Men.
Exactly. Everyone says, well, you can't do Mystique. Why not?
Or Nightcrawler. Or Beast.
Yes. I've seen, I see where you're going.
Or any of the Boo characters from Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z.
I mean, the list goes on. So there isn't a restriction to that.
Right.
But I don't know.
But it's only when it comes to the human species where their complexion is somewhere in our prism of complexions.
Right.
Where people become so dead set on, you can only portray this character because y'all's skin tone match. But you can't go anywhere else because you're too dark to be this character, or you're too light to be this character, or whatever the case may be. The only Captain America that was at NecoCon, because they were trying to do, they did different themes for the shots, and one of them was to have all the Avengers, and they were going to do their circle formation like in the movie. There was no Captain America for the first 30 minutes of the photo shoot. And then we finally got one to show up, and he was Hispanic.
I know who you're talking about.
And his cosplay was phenomenal.
I know exactly who you're talking about.
And the people who are like-minded as us, we don't see, oh, you're a Hispanic Captain America. You can't do that. It's, oh my god, we finally have a Captain America. We can take this photo.
We can complete the task. Yeah!
Because the only one close to Captain America that we had was the SpiderMan Captain America. And he had a book bag that was shaped like Captain Shield.
Yeah.
And that was the closest thing we had. And they were like, what do we do? Because it's going to be so
awkward,
thrown off. Yeah. Because, like, you mean to tell me one of the main names in Marvel isn't here? And then he shows up, and it was literally like he saved the day. Like, please let us get this picture because we really want this.
You are our Steve Rogers.
We need you.
We appreciate you so much for being our Steve Rogers. Thank you so much.
Let's go ahead and pose. You know, we ain't even gonna tell you how to do your job. Just go ahead and do it.
We're gonna take you down the vendors and get you some snacks.
The camera loves. You already know what to do. I don't even gotta narrate nobody. Go ahead. Look at it. Yep.
Oh my goodness. But you're absolutely right. I actually heard something at another con. Nick Fury. The Nick Fury now is the most popular version of Nick Fury. He's the Ultimate Avenger, Nick Fury, because he's a black man. We all know the original Nick Fury in the present Marvel, or the before, was a white guy.
Right.
So I saw a light-skinned guy, about maybe 2 tones lighter than me, dressed as Nick Fury, killed it. Black leather jacket, had the shield emblem on, had it all, the gloves, everything, looked good, even down to the goatee and everything. Heard somebody look at him and say, Nick Fury's not that light. And my jaw dropped. You didn't say, oh wow, this cosplay is amazing, or you looked good, I like what you did, good job. No, I didn't know Nick Fury was that light. And it shook me, because there are people who still tend to think that you have to be correct with specific cosplays. Right. At DragonCon, we had the Wakanda shoot. What a lot of people don't know is it was a white lady who was one of the Dora Milaje, and she nailed it. Costume was on point. She had the spear and everything, and I was like, wow. She looked good. And what I liked about that grouping is everybody was like, wow, you killed it. There wasn't any of this, you can't be in this because of Dora Milaje. I said, no. If you feel that kindredship with that character, then you're going to portray that character. Just like you did with Silk. Okay, so what if she's Korean? So what if you're black and Filipino? Doesn't matter. It's how you feel about that character, how you portray it. She portrayed it well.
Exactly.
So it's all in the kindredship that you have with that particular character. But like I said, I'm older. My speculation a little bit different, but because you're a little closer to the age range of the elitists, as I've seen, because most of them are around between the ages of 25 and 35. And to me, it's just not right.
Right, exactly. Just like how earlier this year when they started dropping more screenshots for the new Pokemon game, and they
Sword and Shield, or Shield and Sword. Okay.
They showed a picture of Nessa, the black
Pokemon.
Somebody posted a picture of her, but white, and they tweeted it, and they said in their caption, "Here you go, at Nintendo, I fixed it."
Wow. Are you serious?
And I was so flabbergasted. Like, first of all, we can't have nothing. Y'all just not happy when we just have stuff. Second of all, what compelled you to do this? Like, nobody... Back in the 90s, when the first Pokemon came out, nobody had an issue at all with Brock.
No.
Nobody had any type of issue. Now, fast forward, it's 2019, and there's a problem with having another black trainer?
Or just a person of color in the game, period.
Right. Like, where did the issue happen? Why all of a sudden is there an issue? And then you have the audacity, you have the nerve and the audacity to Photoshop this photo and then retweet it, tag Nintendo, and be like, I fixed it.
First of all, I'm actually kind of curious as to the reaction from Nintendo, if any.
I don't know if Nintendo retweeted
I'm gonna investigate
it.
that.
Yeah,
I'm gonna investigate
we should do that.
Just put a caption.
But it was just so, like, why? What? For what reason? What was the reason? For what reason?
She obviously wants an answer. So y'all need to give her an answer.
It's a bad.
Why?
Inquiring minds want to know.
But it's that tunnel vision thinking that a lot of people still have. And even now, like I've said in my last video, now is the perfect time to be a geek, nerd, blur, and everything. We've got so much at our fingertips that we can enjoy where we don't have to struggle. But there's some who are just so determined to make sure that transitions into new things are painful.
Right.
And you and I know as well as anybody who's coming to cosplay, it can be really intimidating coming into cosplay because you want that recognition that you did a good job.
Right.
Even if it's not your best effort.
Right.
You want to be able to see people say, oh, wow, you did a good job. Or someone say, I like what you did. Can I make a suggestion?
Right.
And that's always helpful instead of going, that Spider-Man's garbage, man. Why you wear it like that? Why you look like that?
Because not everybody can spend the money that a lot of us spend when it comes to cosplaying. Like my silk cosplay I bought last year, I want to say the beginning of September. And I had it custom fitted. And I had it standard fit instead of loose or tight. Like I ordered another one because they did some stuff with the shading and everything like that, so I ordered a second one so I'll have a backup. And you never know, always have a backup. And if you're gonna do a bodysuit as like any of the Spider-Man characters, make sure you click the option for detachable gloves. Because if you gotta mess with your phone, you gotta eat. That's gonna be really weird because what are you gonna do? Like, so I had the detachable, hands, so I just slipped them off so I could use my phone. I knew. I could use my phone. I could eat without issue. Like I could do what I needed to do without feeling restricted because my hands had gloves. Okay. And if I wanted to use my hands, I had to take the whole suit on. And so it's like, can't do it. And then another thing was on the side of the calf, there's a zipper. Okay. So if you need help putting, like your shoe in the sole, there's also an option to have soles sewn into the feet of the costume. Because a lot of people don't know about that. There was one Spider-Man that I met at NecoCon who we had to walk through the grass. And he had to walk all the way around because he couldn't walk through the grass because he didn't have shoes on the bottom of his suit.
And it was cold that day.
And it was cold, and then most of us walked through grass. I have soles on the bottom of my costume, so I was like, I pretty much have shoes. I can do what you need me to do. And then posing is so much more comfortable because it feels like you have shoes on. So just, if you know how to pose, and that's another thing, if you need tips on how to cosplay as a character, look up like pictures of that character, or if they are so fortunate enough to have a TV show or, a movie, just really watch that character, see how they pose, how the actor really portrays that character.
Watch it over and
over and 5 hours later, and over.
Your eyes look like movie screens. Can we have an intermission, please?
Because I met this one girl who was SpiderGwen, And she was a total sweetheart. She was, I want to say she was from Florida, and she was black, had gorgeous curly hair. Ooh. And she, like I said, she was SpiderGwen without, the mask. So she had the hood up.
Okay.
It was her first convention. And she was like, I feel like I should know you as a character.
Right.
Who are you? So I explained to her, I'm Silk. I was bit by the same spider as SpiderMan.
Oh, okay.
And I explained a little bit about the character, and she asked me, is this your first convention? And I was like, oh no, I've been going to conventions for like plus 10 years, and I've been cosplaying for about 10 years. Because NecoCon's been around since, 98?
Yeah, if that.
So, yeah.
Yeah. It's been around for a minute.
Since it's local, everybody knows about it. So if you're from this area, you go to NecoCon if you're a nerd, you know?
That's true. I've only missed one since I started going. So.
Mm-hmm. And so she was like, can we get a picture together? I was like, sure. And she's like, before we take the picture, how do you pose as these characters? Because I've seen, everybody's seen Spider-Man. Everybody sees how he poses. He's got his own game.
Right.
So, even if you can't really tell by the movie and stuff, because there's some CGI here and there, whatever the case may be, the games, too, he's super flexible. He's super, look at me. I am
super flexible.
Super.
He bends. He's bendy. He's real bendy.
He's, on, walls. And so she asked me, I feel like this is an embarrassing question. I was like, no, this is, I want people to realize that when it comes to conventions.
I'm glad you're bringing this up too. I'm glad you're bringing this up too.
A lot of us have been teased for being nerds our whole life. This is our safe space. This is just for us.
This is where we belong.
If you have a question, ask your question.
Yes.
Don't feel like you're intimidated for asking this question. This is your first convention. This is definitely not my first convention. And so I should be the first person you want to ask a question to, because I've been going to conventions for so long. And so she was like, before we take this picture, how should I pose? Because I don't know a lot about SpiderGwen. I've only seen her in the most recent animated movie, and that's it. That's all I know about her. And I fell in love with the character from one movie.
Into the Spider-Verse.
And I was like, it's pretty simple. A lot of our poses are pretty much the same. Spider-Man. That's it. I mean, we have our, our feminine features and stuff, so you gotta do some more whatever, and so I showed her just standard go-to poses that I do.
Okay.
Because the first time that I wore silk to a convention was last year's NecoCon. And I was so nervous because I've never cosplayed as her before.
Oh.
All I know about her is from the comics, because that's all I have.
Understood.
Every other character that I've cosplayed as, it's I knew enough about them to be completely confident in that character. Because I'm I know who this is. I know who they're about. I know what they're about. I know what to do. But with Silk, I hadn't known anyone personally that had done a Silk cosplay. So it's not I gotta ask, hey, so how you do that thing? Because I'm gonna do the thing, and I need help. Can you help me? Right. I didn't have anyone.
Right, and it goes right back to what we were talking about as far as the elitists. Because, like you said, if it's someone's first convention,
right,
and they are doing this cosplay for the first time, and they've been excited about this, they shouldn't feel afraid to ask a question.
Exactly.
But you'll have those types. You'll have those individuals.
Oh my god, how do you not know how to do anything about the character you're dressing up as?
Exactly. That's like telling a kid when they go for a Halloween costume, you're not even being a right Power Ranger. Why are you...
Do you know anything about the Black Power Ranger? Do you even know?
Kid's I'm just trying to get candy.
Look.
You see this Walmart bag? I'm about business.
Run me my sweets.
But that always irritated me, because I always try to be open. Especially being Patriot, and someone says, hey, did you make the shield?
Right.
How long did it take?
Right.
I say, well...
Because we've all been there. We've all had, regardless if it's our 5th convention, if it's our 20th convention, we've all had our first convention. We've all had the nerves of cosplaying for the first time. We've all been there, done that, bought the t-shirt, sent the postcard. We've been there.
Made the magnets.
Exactly. So it's we were on the first Yelp review. We were there day one. So it's who else do you go to when you have a question. You go to the ones who have the experience, who have the knowledge, and that can give you that advice. So I was more than happy to help her because I want her to come back. I want her to be like, I felt welcomed at my first convention because later on down the road, there's going to be another person and it's going to be their first convention. And they're going to somehow approach her and be like, hey, so you did a really good job with this. I feel dumb for asking this. How do you do this? Or what did you think of this? Or from another cosplayer's perspective, this, that, and the third. And she can pass down her advice because of the example that I set for her. Like I said, it has to be, you have to give off that vibe where you're welcoming because, like I said, conventions are our time to be us.
It shouldn't be a time to be nerve-wracked.
Exactly. Like we're like we have nerves, you know, because especially if you're not really, if you're socially awkward.
And that's the other thing.
You know, like I'm socially awkward when I don't know anything about the person. See, but I know things about you because we're the same. We are.
That's not a lie.
We was in the same family. we was family before
we've been incorporated.
Met.
We've been incorporated.
This is actually our first time like meeting face to face.
So, but you can tell when the vibe is there, which is goes back to going to conventions and cosplay itself.
Exactly.
Having that vibe of once again dealing with the elitists who want to separate themselves from the field because they want to be those guys on top of Mount Olympus.
Right.
Who want to look down, but not realizing, guess what? You were there.
Exactly.
Once upon
you
a
need
time.
to calm down before we send Kratos after you. Calm down. Kratos.
So I would pay money to see that though.
Same.
There are certain cosplayers.
Let me just like chill on a cloud and just like don't mess with me, but I just want to watch this. I'll bring the popcorn.
I would do that. So what it boils down to, and I can only speak for myself, as cosplayers, especially cosplayers of color, we need to set a standard that's higher than what society dictates.
Exactly.
Especially in our community. Because we have outcasts and people who are recluses who finally want to break out.
Right.
They want to come outside the house and go to the gatherings and be part of the fandoms and put on their cosplay the first time. Or maybe say, hey, there's a video game convention going on. I want to be a part of that. Okay, come on out. We want them to be a welcoming presence.
Right, because if the tables were turned and those elitists cosplayed somewhere like Japan.
Ooh.
And even though their cosplay
could
be spot on 100%, like, you got this off the set. Like, this was the same Deadpool outfit that Ryan Reynolds wore for his movie, even though, like, he admitted, like, hey, I stole this. Because they were joking, side note. So, like, they were joking about how, like, Ben Affleck, when he was...
She cannot keep a straight face for nothing right now.
He was like, I'll just take pictures with my Batman costume. Because I can't take it with me. Because they were like, you're not allowed to have it. And then you go over to Ryan Reynolds, like, you can't take this home. Okay.
I know how that went. Listen, it was great.
Did you steal the suit? I don't know what you're talking about. I mean, I might have an exact replica at home, but I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, y'all got the money to cover the cost.
You'll be fine. It's fine.
How many millions did I make you? And how many movies?
That's what I thought.
Give me the damn suit.
I'm gonna wear the suit to bed.
Just give it. Oh my god.
But you know, like I was saying, if those elitists had a spot on cosplay and went somewhere so cosplay heavy, like they eat and breathe this stuff, like Japan, how would they feel if they were like, why are you cosplaying as that person? They're Japanese.
That would be a slap in the face. But that would also be a wake-up call for them. Which I would want to hope for.
Right.
Because you can't treat someone a certain way, but then you get mad because you've been treated that way.
Right. Like, if you can't dish it out, like, if you can dish it out but not take it, then don't dish it out.
Oh my god.
Keep your dish in the kitchen. Keep it to yourself. Go wash the dish because you're nasty. You take that steak attitude somewhere else.
Oh
Wash the dish in the kitchen.
So, in conclusion, what I believe, this is just me, elitists need to back off. Be more open-minded.
Keep your comments to yourself. Take it back to preschool. If you ain't got something nice to say, don't say it at all.
Nope.
Because we telling your mama. And your grandma. Your grandma know you out here calling people names. And whitewashing African American characters. You know? Do she know?
I didn't mean to set her off. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to set her off. It just the switch went and someone just kind of taped it to the top. So
like, you know what? Matter of fact, I got something else to say.
But I agree. I agree with you wholeheartedly on that one. Be welcoming, be open.
Treat others like you want to be treated.
Especially if you consider yourself a public figure.
Exactly.
You now have that responsibility.
Because you set the example. You have that influence.
Right.
People are looking up to you. People are watching you. You've put yourself in that situation where you want people to watch you. And you have to realize, good or bad, people are definitely watching you.
You're in the public eye, so guess what? You have to conduct yourself accordingly.
Exactly.
So all you elitists out there, don't.
Just don't.
Just try.
Can you not do what you're doing?
Yeah.
Just stop.
Just
stop.
Bring it down. Bring it down. Oh my goodness. You have been a treat. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for coming on. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. Thank y'all for having me. Y'all are awesome. Except for y'all elitists. Y'all need to calm down.
Okay.
Calm it down. Hit y'all with the anime fixie glassy thingy.
To all my fellow blurticorns out there and from us, just be open-minded. Be welcoming.
Yep.
Don't be up so high on yourself that you cannot bring others of our ilk in.
Exactly.
Because we need to come in. Okay? Shaunalyn, it's been amazing.
Thank you.
I appreciate you.
Thank you. I appreciate you too.
I
appreciate like my Uncle Montel. Y'all look at.
I'm never gonna get used to this, y'all. Never gonna get used to this. I hear this voice. Uncle Montel. Oh my gosh, here you go. Yeah.
Yeah, everybody, remember, stay safe during this holiday season. We will see you when we see you. If you're gonna be at GalaxyCon in Richmond, Virginia, I will be there with my girls, Christy and Kendra. We're gonna be there and whatnot. And then I will be at Fanime in San Jose, California. So yeah, we gonna be there. And then definitely BlurredCon. For sure, set in stone. We gonna be there. And so we say to you, have a great day. Have a great week. Have a great rest of 2019. Enjoy the holidays. Enjoy your family. And remember, #Cosplayers for everyone.
Oh my goodness. And as always, thank you. Stay nerdy, stay geeky, and please stay sexy.
We out.
Bye, guys.